Hello, my friends. So today in this video, I want to talk about what I think of as the elephant in the room, a really serious topic that very few of us ever want to talk about. What is it? Mental illness. We now know that mental health disorders such as depression and anxiety, ADHD, PTSD, schizophrenia, OCD, eating disorders, bipolar and other mood disorders affect the way we think, feel, and behave like never before. You may not realize it because at one time I didn't. There are now like 200 types of mental illnesses. Depending on which statistics you read, somewhere around 1 in 5 adults and children have actually been diagnosed with a mental health disorder. About half of those illnesses begin by age 14 and 3/4 by age 24. How many of us have recently said to ourselves, it's a crazy world we live in these days? Think of mass shootings and homelessness and so many other of society's biggest problems. How many of us have said to ourselves, these things have never been this bad before. What's going on? People are losing their minds. So at this point, you're asking, why is Al bringing this up? I mean, what's my point? I mean, it's not like you need a reminder of how bad things seem to be sometimes. Well, here's my point. Thanks to Harvard professor and researcher Chris Palmer, who's author of the book Brain Energy, and many other researchers doing important work in this field, we now know there's a direct link between our metabolic health and our mental health. Yes, that's right. In many instances, the root cause of many of the most destructive mental illnesses can be drilled right back to what and when we eat, how much exercise we get or don't get, how good the quality of our sleep is, and so many other things. You think I'm exaggerating? Think again, my friend. This is real. Over the last 50 or so years, the average diet of every American has changed completely from the diet of our ancestors. Industrialized, processed, packaged foods have become so ubiquitous. They're now a central and normal way of life for all Americans, kind of like part of our American lexicon. The same could be said for drugs, the pharmaceutical industry. Virtually every person in this country is taking some kind of prescription drug every day. And of course, we're all medicating ourselves with alcohol in one form or another. And whether or not you want to admit it, chronic alcohol use is not good for your brain or your health. My friend, the things I talk about every day and relate to chronic disease and how fast we're aging are the same exact things that are impacting our collective and individual mental health. Metabolic health and mental health are intrinsically woven together in what is turning out to be a disastrous tapestry of health disorders and illnesses that are going to bankrupt us as a country and eventually ruin so many of our lives in the process. The good news is, when we become aware, we have the opportunity to do something about it. And that starts with how we're feeding ourselves and our kids in schools, in hospitals, and in our own kitchens. The closer we get to eating and behaving the way we did before the agricultural and industrial revolutions, the better off we'll be. Reach out if I can help in any way. And remember, there's always hope, always. But we need to start taking action.